Hey guys, what is going on? Today we're going to be talking about one of the problems that I found I had all the time as a beginner, and I'm sure you do too. And that is, how do you get the hairline to keep on sticking? A lot of times when we get our first hair system, or even the first couple months, we're constantly checking our hairline. We're constantly checking to see if it's loose, if it's flapping, if it looks real, all of these problems. I remember my first couple months, I was checking it probably like every hour. I'd go into the bathroom, check to see if it was still sticking, if it was still firmly adhered to my head, all that fun stuff. Now, as I've worn a hair system a little bit longer, and other people may attest to this as well, this becomes less and less of an issue. But there's one thing that I've found that really causes the front hairline to release, like to not be adherent and to cause some panic. Now, here's the other part of it. In this video, we're going to talk about why you don't need to worry about this and why it's actually something that, if you're worried about, is going to shorten your time between different installs. All right. But first, let's talk a little bit about what adhesives are and how they work. So an adhesive is something that creates a chemical bond between two different surfaces that allows adhesion. Simple enough, right? Now, what you'll find though in most adhesive materials is that they work in a specific range and on specific materials. Now, the biggest factor in the adhesion lifespan is really if it's staying inside of those parameters that it's designed to function in. We think about duct tape, right? If you use duct tape in basically any normal situation, normal temperatures, like from, 30 to, let's just say 70 degrees. I'm not saying that's the right range, but it's going to stick very well if you don't expose it to water, to any type of degradation. Like, it's going to hold up and it's generally going to keep things pretty sticky. But what happens when we heat up the duct tape? What happens when we expose it to things like water? What happens when we expose it to things like hard water or things with different salts in it, right? All these things have an effect on adhesives, and the same is true. And the same is true for our hair system adhesives. Now, there's different types of adhesives, which we're not going to cover in this video. There's silicone, there's acrylic, there's a couple different others. There's water-based glues, and some are designed to release very, very quickly, like a water-based glue, that as soon as it gets exposed to water, it starts to dissolve. However, things like acrylic are designed to last longer, but that doesn't mean that they're perfect, doesn't mean that they're going to work forever. Medical grade adhesives, or adhesives that are designed to work on skin, have to balance longevity with the particular application. Think about like a surgical adhesive, which isn't designed to stay there forever, but eventually dissolve. And the final factor of how harsh it is on your body. For hair systems, for wigs, there's hard bonds which last many, many months that are very, very harsh and are probably not very good for the skin. So this is something that you can look into, but not something that we generally want to consider. But going back into the subject of the front hairline and being a new wear and being worried about it's releasing or that it's not quite as sticky as it once was, the main thing that you're going to encounter is that as soon as you heat up, like if you're working out or if you go outside on a sunny day, your body temperature raises. You're gonna find, if you go check in the bathroom and see if it's still adhering, that it might be a little bit looser. Now, the reason for this is because the adhesive is somewhat liquefying. It's not turning to like a water, right? But what it is doing is it's loosening these bonds, because the bonds work in a certain temperature range optimally. After they start going outside of that temperature range, especially as they get hotter, generally, the solid nature of the adhesives starts to break down. Those chemical bonds start to heat up and they start to break apart. And that's general chemistry knowledge. As soon as particulate matter heats up or more energy is put into it, because that's essentially what heat is, that they start to break down a little bit more so. So what this is saying is that if you're getting hot, if you're going out, working out, all this kind of stuff, your adhesive is actually going to be a little less firm. It's going to start to liquefy a little bit. And if you go and you try to like pull up your hair in that moment, there's a chance that it might come up. But here's the thing that people don't realize, that if you just wait it out, if you cool down, if you dry all of that extra liquid out of that area, the adhesive often will re-bond. it will retake as you cool down, as it cools down, and as the water evaporates from your sweat. What I have found is that, the first week or so with a hair system and the adhesive, when I'm sweating every single day doing things like CrossFit or working out, that it adheres pretty good, and I don't need to worry about it when I'm working out or after I'm working out. Like, I don't need to worry about it coming up. But after that period of time, the bond, the adhesive, starts to weaken a little bit because of exposure to, my sweat, which has salt and water into it, exposure to heat and the cooling cycles, which is going to kill the lifespan. That what will happen is that it works great. Like right now, see, it's not pulling up at all. Works great if it's cooled down, if it's normal body temperature. But as soon as it starts to heat up, if I do a workout, the front of it sometimes can flap up if I pull it up. It's not going to go anywhere, just sitting there. But if I pull it up purposefully, it will release. After that first adhesive lifespan period, all you got to do is wait until it cools down, and it'll be okay. You don't have to worry about it. Not that big of a deal. If you are going into a situation where you're really, really worried about it, wear a hat or something like that. If you're going to the beach and you're worried about a rogue wave taking it off, just wear a hat. That's all you got to do. Or rebond your hair system maybe the day before. All in all, I think we freak out a little bit too much about it because we're concerned with it constantly being 100% sticky to our scalp. And that would be great, but the current adhesives that we have don't work that way. We need to wait until we cool down. That's mostly the big step that we need to follow. Cool down, wait a minute, and it'll all heal. Now, last night I recorded this video, and actually the video did not, for some reason, record. But what I did show you is that I was just getting home from the workout that I was doing, and I was able to literally peel up the first 2 or 3 inches of my hair system. And I was like, I'm not worried about it because literally in an hour, it's gonna be fine and it's not gonna have any problems, and it's gonna be really firm and sticky like it is now. See, I can't pull it up. So yeah, guys, I hope that's a little bit of reassurance for you. If you're encountering this problem, this is what it could be. Don't worry about it so much. If you got any questions, leave a comment down below, send me an email, DM me on Instagram, anything like that. But remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification down below, and I'll see you soon.